In UML, a state machine diagram is used to model the behavior of an object in a system during its lifetime. This video will show you how to draw a simple state machine diagram in 5 steps. Step 1. Define states or conditions an object might be in. Step 2. Tell others a little more about the states. Step 3. Define transitions from one state to another. Step 4. Define events that trigger transitions. And Step 5. Define constraints on transitions. In our demo, we'll be using Visual Paradigm for UML Modular Edition. We'll walk through how to draw the following state machine diagram, which describes the behavior of a bank account. A state is simply a condition or situation an object might be in during its lifetime in a system. Let's see how we would draw that. We're now in Visual Paradigm for UML, and we're going to begin by creating a new state machine diagram. To do that, go to the toolbar at the top, click UML. Under the Behavioral Modeling section, select State Machine Diagram. In the new diagram, you see a black solid circle deselected by clicking anywhere in the background. This is the initial state that comes with a new diagram by default. And earlier in the corner here, there was a text box for you to enter the diagram's name. If you missed it, that's okay, because you can always bring it back up by right-clicking on the background and select Rename. And let's name this diagram Bank Account. Press Enter. And next we're going to draw 2 states. Go to the diagram toolbar on the left and drag state onto the diagram. And we'll name this Account with Funds. Press Enter. And we'll draw one more. Go back to the toolbar, drag state onto the diagram again, and we'll name this Zero Balance. Press Enter. Let's resize it a little bit here. And there, we're done with step 1. In step 2, in order for others to understand the states better, we would add documentation. In step 2, we're going to document what we mean by these 2 states. Let's start with the top one. Select it, then go to the documentation pane on the left and enter a description. And then go back to the diagram and select the other state. Return to the documentation pane and we'll enter another description. Okay, so in the future, if anyone wants to get more information about a state, just click it and read the respective documentation. In step 3, we draw directed lines to indicate a change from one state to another. Let's see how to draw that. In step 3, we're going to draw directed lines to depict transitions between states. Let's start with the initial state here. When you select it or place your mouse over it, the resource-centric interface pops up. Essentially, it is a collection of icons that help you draw the next model element from where you are now. And in our case, let's just say that you open a bank account, then you should move to the Account with Funds state. To draw that transition, select this icon here, transition to state, drag it, and drop it over the Account with Funds state. And then click in the background when you're done. And from this state here, let's just say that you withdraw all the money out, and then you should move into the zero balance state. To draw that transition, drag this icon, transition to state, and drop it over the zero balance state. And then click in the background when you're done. And from this zero balance state, let's draw the final state from here. Select this icon and drag downwards and release your mouse button when you're done. Now let's come back to the zero balance state here. Let's just say that you put some more money in, and that would move you back to the state up here. To draw that transition, drag this icon here and then drop it over. Let's rearrange the line a little bit and then drag it. Okay, now let's go up to the state here. Either you make more deposit or withdraw some of the money, you come back to the same state here. To draw these two transitions, click this icon once. And then let's move this line here to the left. Now that's one of the transitions, and let's draw the second one by clicking the icon one more time. And let's move this line here. There, we're done with step 3. In step 4, we will specify what needs to happen in order for a transition to take place. So we've already drawn transitions to indicate some state changes. While you know them like the back of your hand, others may not really understand what these transitions mean exactly. That's why we need to explicitly specify events that fires these transitions. We call them transition triggers. Now let's start with the initial state here. And let's say that after you open a bank account, you enter this state here. So double click on this transition here, and in the text box enter open bank account, and then press enter when you're done. And then from this state here, let's say you withdraw all the money, then you enter this zero balance state. So double click this transition here, and then let's enter withdraw funds, and then press enter. And then from this zero balance state, let's say you deposit money back, and that would move you to this state up here. So double click this transition, and let's put in deposit funds, and then press enter. And let's move this over. Okay, and from here, let's say you have some money in the account and you deposit more, then you're just gonna come back to the same state. So double click this transition, and then enter deposit funds, and then press enter. And let's move it over a little bit. Okay, now for the last transition, right over here, and if you start off with an account with some money in it and you just take out some of it, then you would still stay in the same state. So double click this transition and enter withdraw funds, and then press enter. Let's move the text box over so we can see it. And then there, we're done with the transition triggers. In step 5, we would define guard conditions. Sometimes, even if the designated transition trigger fires, we want the transition to take place only if it meets certain constraints. So you can think of it as making a transition conditional. For example, let's take a look at this transition here. Say you start off having some money in the account, then you take some money out, then you can return to the same state only if the new balance is more than $0. So we need to add a guard condition for that. To do that, right click on the transition, select open specification. Under the general tab, go to the guard section, and let's enter that condition. Balance more than $0, and then click OK. Then you see the trigger with the guard condition. Now let's take a look at this transition over here. For this transition to be valid, after the withdrawal, the new balance needs to be 0 in order to enter this 0 balance state here. So let's right click on this transition and select Open Specification again, and under the General tab, enter the condition to check. Balance equals to 0, then click OK, and there, now the transition is guarded with a condition check.